to go ahead with the toast. First up, Mr. Joe. Hello, everyone. Hi. Saul, Andie. Saul. I can't, I can't believe that you're married. That's actually not true. I can believe it. I can't believe you got married in Kentucky. I guess I always pictured you getting married at some remote island while going cave diving covered in mud and married by headlamp light. This was much nicer. You guys did a hell of a job. Saul, one of my earliest memories of you goes back to potty training. You, not me. I don't know why, but I have a clear memory of this particular event. It was the very first time you used the potty. I went to the bathroom, and you followed me in and used the little training potty right next to me. When you were done, you came out, and everyone was so proud of you and told you how good you did. Then you peed on the rug. But Mom always said, you're not going to get married in a diaper. I assume you didn't. I bring up the story because it illustrates our roles in early childhood. I was your big brother, and as such, your leader and your role model. Throughout early childhood, I led you down many paths, some good, some not so good. I recall one time when I suggested that you could fly like Superman, if you had a cape. First, we got the cape, a towel tied around your neck. Then, we needed to get to a high enough point. The back of the couch would do. Well, you can probably imagine what happened next. You jumped, but didn't fly. I think you cried a lot, and I got sent to my room. We had a lot of fun growing up, building forts, inside and out, exploring the woods behind our house, bike riding and rollerblading, skis and more. As is life, the older we got, the more our paths diverged. You didn't need my advice in leadership. You discovered your own way and clearly have been quite successful. Probably your greatest accomplishment is the life you and Andie have begun together. To say the least, you guys have started a life with a new job in a new state where you knew nobody. Meanwhile, putting together this great wedding. This is no small feat. So while you may not need my advice, you gave me this mic. So I'm going to give it anyways. Here's what I got. Andie is your constant. For good days, the days where you have some exciting news to share, Andie will be the first person to hear it. For bad days, the days where you feel sad and depressed and you really don't want to see or talk to anyone, you'll want to see Andie. In a life full of unexplained and unexpected events, Andie is the one constant who will always be with you. Never take her for granted. The minor things you do for each other every day can often get lost. Write a note once in a while and stick it in her lunchbox that says, "Thank you for being you, and I love you." You'll have days where you fight. Forget the old adage, never go to bed angry. If you have a fight, don't stay up late being mad at each other. Then you'll be tired and mad. Get some sleep. Wake up in the morning and make her a big stack of pancakes. Assuming she likes pancakes. If not, make her something else. Lastly, admit when you're wrong. One of the toughest things to do is to let go of your pride and say, "I'm wrong." The fact is, you're always going to be wrong. Even when you're right, you're wrong. It's a strange paradox I haven't figured out yet. Save the energy from a long and drawn-out fight, admit you're wrong early, and do something fun. Andie, I haven't known you long enough to impose my advice on you. So instead, I'll say this: thank you. I've never known my brother to be as happy as he is since he's met you. He doesn't exactly wear his heart on his sleeve, but I can see it in his face when he's with you, how much he loves you and you him. I know he'll have a wonderful and happy life with you by his side. There are certain couples you see and you wonder what they're doing together. Then there's couples who you couldn't ever imagine what it was like for them to be apart. These are the couples you can easily see being a cute old couple taking a long walk on the beach. Because you know just by looking at them that they're going to be together forever. This, of course, is the two of you. If you would all raise your glass to Saul and Andie, here's to a long life of love and happiness. L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Hey, I'm Andie's sister, Julie. I don't have anything written down, like these guys. Andie has always been a really good big sister in the way that she takes care of everything that goes on around her. So she takes care of me too. So anybody who's ever known Andie, she's super precise, and she does everything exactly the way she wants. You see this in the way that she takes care of germs and takes care of me and my brother. Doesn't let us drink or eat things that were on the floor, or put seat belts on our tiny little tricycles and stuff like that. Saul came up he didn't come to my house. He came up in our conversations when I was late in college, and I said, "Who's Saul? He's probably just another guy with Andie." But we went out to see Andie one weekend, and I thought Saul would be there. But it ended up that Saul was going out of town. And we had to take care of Carla the whole weekend, and so did Andie. This was the first time I saw that Andie really cared about Saul, because Andie hated dogs. She's hated dogs her entire life. She didn't want to touch dogs. She didn't want to pet dogs. She didn't want to have anything to do with dogs. But that weekend, Andie was the most caring for this little dog that ran around the house. It was a nice dog. But there wasn't anything special about this dog other than that it was Saul's. And I think I went home knowing that weekend that Andie loved Saul because she would take care of his dog for him. So I know you guys are going to be awesome together, and I love you two together. So I love you guys.
L'chaim.
The worst hugs.
Hi, I'm Jerry, or some of you people know me as Pop. I'm Andie's father, and I'm extremely, extremely proud to be up here right now. Good stuff, good stuff. I wanted to welcome all of you on behalf of my wife and I, and Saul's mom and dad. It's wonderful to see everybody here. Look around you, look at this crowd. This is amazing. Everybody here for these two. That's what a blessing that is. Good stuff. I want to talk a little bit about Andie growing up. And Julie kind of hit the nail on the head as far as the detail person. She's a detail-oriented person, has been since she was a little tiny child. She had a real tough time with multiplication when she was in grade school. And it just frustrated the heck out of her. And so we worked out a system where I would do this little chant, and I would say, 6 times 6 is 30, and she would fill in the blanks. And we got all the way through the multiplication tables. And to this day, I know my multiplication tables because I heard. And if I made a mistake, she would correct me, and she still corrects me. We got into middle school with her, and every night after middle school, she and I would take a bike ride. I get choked up a little bit with that, but it was good stuff. And I learned about middle school from that, and we got through it. A lot of times, you just get through this stuff. Eleanor Roosevelt said the only way to get out is you get through. And a lot of times that's what happened. You get through it. And that's what we did. She was on the debate team. I didn't know anything about debate, but I went to the debate tournaments and I learned all about debate from her. So she was probably learning from me at the same time I was learning from her, and that's a pretty good thing, I think. When she decided to go away to school, we visited some different colleges. And I thought some of them were really neat. And then we got to the University of Florida, and this place was huge. It just went on for forever. And I thought, there's no way. But she said that was the one for her, and she tackled it. And she ended up doing great there. And to me, it was just a monstrous place. And now it's so small, it fits in this little part in the back of my mind. And we got through that, or she got through that. We traveled all the time, and my goal has always been to make memories for these guys, and keep on doing that. This is a memory right here. Who's going to forget this hot, sweltering night with all these people? But it's still good stuff. Life kind of buzzes by. You get to this age and you start to look at these memories. There's a bunch of days that sort of blend into each other that disappear. And then there's those days that stand out. And I think a lot of times we are in control of that. And the more of those memories you can make, the better off you are. That way you treasure every day. Every day is a gift. This day is a gift. And if you focus on that, you get a whole bunch of memories. And that's pretty good stuff. A little bit about Saul. When I first met Saul, he seemed like a nice enough guy, no facial tattoos or piercings. So I was kind of relieved. He had a bit of a sense of humor, and as I got to know him, I understand he's got a great sense of humor, which is really going to be necessary being married to Andy. After I knew him for a while, Andy had told me that they were coming down one weekend, and Saul had intended to ask me for her hand in marriage. And I thought, that's kind of neat. That's sort of old-fashioned like. And she said, yeah, but I really want you to set him up here. And I said, I beg your pardon? She said, no, this has got to involve spies and Russians and make him make a pickup someplace or another, and he's got to go through all these tests to become part of the family. And so I thought, okay, and Andy's always detail-oriented, and she had all these things worked out. I talked to a Russian friend of mine. I borrowed a Russian newspaper, and I circled Russian language things on there. I hope you can hear me. This mic is just dying on me here. And she wanted me to wrap up a fake gun in the newspaper, which I thought was just a little bit much. But anyway, we had this entire scenario worked out, and I waited all weekend for Saul to ask for her hand in marriage, and he never did. I could have killed the guy. I even learned a couple of Russian phrases. But again, we made a memory right there. And it was good stuff. I almost warned Saul at that point, do you know what you're getting yourself into here? This is part of the deal. Hang on one second, I got one more page here. Okay, let's see. Saul and Andie, you're going to have some disagreements. And I talked about this at Julie's wedding too. When you're wrong, promptly admit it. When you're right, just shut up about it. You don't need to dwell on that at all. Never pass up the opportunity to say nothing. Lots of times, it's best. Just be quiet. If you all would join me in a toast to these two, I'd really appreciate it. Saul and Andie.
Cheers.
Very nice.
Great speeches. I think it's been nice to see you. I'm Bill Miller. I'm, of course, Saul's father. And I want to thank everybody, first of all, for coming. A lot of people came from a long ways away. Saul and Andie don't know anybody in Lexington. We've had people. Oh, a couple. That's good. That's good. We have people from Texas. We have people from Florida. We have people from Massachusetts. From all over, everybody coming here to celebrate this wonderful, wonderful event. And so I want to thank you all for coming. When I was in 6th grade, 1950, we won't say when, I was at my desk and drawing a picture. It was a picture of a rocket ship, a multi-stage rocket ship going to the moon. The teacher came up to my desk and grabbed it, ripped it up and says, "You're crazy. Nobody's ever going to go to the moon." Saul, on the other hand, his elementary, that was a memory of mine. I have some memories of Saul in elementary. One of them was, he uses such big words for such a little kid. Math. He solves the math questions. I ask him how, and he says, the answer pops into my head. This was a kind of a beginning for us, because he started doing all of these neat things all the way through school. It wasn't all education. Saul was on the track team, and he ran. And I remember being on the track team too, so it was nice to see some things that I had done, Saul had done too. He graduated from high school as the valedictorian and went off to college. Well, he started off to college. First year of college was rough for Saul. I want to go home. I don't want to go to college. I'm not a nice guy. I said, you're going. I'll come up and visit you, but I'm leaving and you're staying. Well, he graduated from Bates, summa cum laude. He went on to Florida. Well, he did some work first, but then he eventually went on and got his doctorate, which proved that he finally did get away from home and move on. When I also too went to college, got a degree, went to another school, got a degree, went to another school, got a degree, and I've been going to school all my life and continue to be very involved in education. Very important. And Saul will continue to do that too. When I was in college, I met my wife and fell in love. And from then on, it's gotten better and better and better and better. And Saul, it's going to get better, better, and better. And so I say to you, l'chaim.
Okay.